Do you know how technology has changed? What it was like a century ago? Watch this video to the end, and you'll find out a lot. Let's get started. Let's start with Thomas Andrews Jr. was brought in to build the biggest ship of his time. He had absolute confidence in the safety of the liner, and so set sail on it on a transatlantic voyage. But instead of a great triumph, the ship went down with one of its creators. When the Titanic began to sink, Thomas Andrews Jr. refused to abandon ship despite repeated offers to evacuate. He helped over 700 passengers into lifeboats and went down with his brainchild. And after all this time, the world's biggest cruise liner, on board a ship, the height of an 18-story building, weighs 228 tons. Capable of carrying up to 5,518 passengers and up to 2,200 crew on board, it was built at a cost of $1.35 billion, with the most expensive, a 12-day journey, from Barcelona to Florida set to cost $10,500. A little over a century ago, man did manage to get off the ground and take off. Among those who dreamed of lifting man high into the sky was Otto Lilienthal. He created more than one flying machine. He preferred to test it on himself. And one such flight ended badly. In 1896, the engineer crashed to Earth because the engine of the machine he was testing had stalled right in the air. And now in the present, a device that can stay in the air longer than a conventional jetpack. It gives the same flying experience while flying for much longer, as much as half an hour. The price of the device is also spacey, roughly $150,000 to $250,000. The model can reach a speed of 320 kilometers per hour and can fly for 12 minutes on one fuel tank. Chinese official Wang Hu. His attempt to conquer the sky took place some 500 years before it actually succeeded, and the technology was more akin to a modern rocket launch. However, instead of the desired flight into space, tragedy struck, which was a chair with 47 powder rockets and kites attached. The inventor decided to test his creation himself. He sat down in the chair and ordered his servants to set the rockets on fire, and saw a violent explosion instead of launch. When the smoke cleared, there was no Wang Hu at the launch site, nor was his machine anywhere to be seen. Rocket Lab unveiled a rocket that could be launched without a spaceport. It would be 40 m high, 7 in diameter, and would have 7 methane oxygen engines on the first stage. The average cost is 119,600 Reichsmarks. The first one, built in 1768, was a 60-centimeter high doll which looked like a boy sitting at a table. Using a set of coated discs mounted on a spindle and 4,000 moving parts, the robot could dip a goose pen into an inkwell and write up to 40. The world's smartest robot today is Sophia. Created by engineers at Hanson Robotics, was activated on April 19, 2015. Is already able to express 62 emotions. Developers have so far created around 24 humanoid robots. Sophia is the most advanced model. A railway carriage that moves thanks to a propeller in the rear. The invention was invented in 1929 by. In May 1931, the Zeppelin made its first success, reaching a speed of 200 kilometers per hour, and 1 month later, set a record of 230.2 kilometers per hour, which could not be broken until 1954. There was no reverse and the traction was insufficient to climb steep hills in a Chinese city, capable of a top speed of 600 kilometers per hour. The magnetic suspension train project was launched in October 2016. A prototype train was made in Qingdao and tests began in Shanghai in June 2020. The cost of the project is about $1.3 billion. Such a turnaround in so much time. What video would you like to see in your next video? Write in the comments. Subscribe and you'll learn a lot of things you didn't know.